Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be recapping Rise to Occasion's Milwaukee regional run. He was able to successfully defend his home title. Obviously, most of you probably know Rise, absolutely exceptional battler, and even more exceptional person. Unfortunately, none of his battles were streamed from day one, but he was on the winner's side of the bracket, and he's going against Pranav in the winners semifinals, and top two make it to Worlds. So really excited to cast these battles. It's quite a long video, so I am gonna I should actually probably speed this up to 1.5 times. So it's probably gonna be like an hour long video. I'm gonna play the audio. Hopefully it's not too loud. Let's go ahead, sir. It is 1.5 times speed, so it's gonna sound a little bit weird, but that's okay. So it's not the Ember variant like Sandy ran, so a little bit different. Gets the energy a bit faster, can get to those overheats, really pressure the protect shields instead of more fast move pressure. And the Azumarill pick, which is we've seen in previous tournaments, I've seen a lot of talk in the community. I use Azumarill in my run. Like, it doesn't ever hard beat anything. I think it's like pretty safe, but Registeel. Amazingly, the way that he's banking energy and using that more effective. All right, Rise with those sandals and socks, very nice.
Yeah, definitely. And then so looking at Rise team, we also have that Azumarill.
Is he wearing his shirt inside out?
Likely Charm as a fast move, one of the strongest checks to that save
is it?
swap. And again,
looks like it, right? Or is that his actual shirt design? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And we have the Obstagoon, the very interesting Pokemon, triple resistant ghost, having fighting moves but not being a fighting type.
Yeah, Obstagoon was a really interesting thing to pick on side. No Registeel, no Wall Rain. So it's very in the limited meta that's the World Championship Series. It is a pretty interesting team.
Rise to Occasion's Azumarill is just looking so safe versus Pranav's team, and we're actually going to be getting into game number 1. Pranav has not lost a single game in this tournament so far. It is bunny on bunny, Azumarill versus Azumarill, same moveset.
Again, this is before the update, so you'll see some denies and some sneaks. Both going to 100, then throwing. Obviously, we're not going to see a shield.
We can see the two Pokemon on the back line of both sides, and we can see how both players kind of want to stay in this matchup or not give up too much health remaining on the
Chiefess is like only okay in the back line for Rise, but Obstagoon
Backline is going to matter a ton. Alignment is going to matter because we see the Obstagoon, which is an insane counter. Lickitung in the back as another play rough is going to hit the Azumarill. And then we see the Kanto Shadow Ninetales that needs the matchup against that Galarian Stunfisk. But with shields down, the Galarian Stunfisk can do
does get Rise is up ahead a bubble.
Yeah, you know, and I think Rise does have the advantage in the back end here because that Kanto Ninetales, despite being very good against the Galarian Stunfisk, you kind of want it on the Obstagoon because you do not want that Lickitung.
Rise going for the CMP, realizing he does win CMP, so really nice play there.
Let's see if Pranav decides to let go. Decides to let the play rough go. So now Pranav going into this matchup and gets the Lickitung here against
okay, well,
which
let's see if
he really wants, but does he stay in or does he switch out to that Ninetales?
I'm really shocked he pivoted there and didn't go for alignment and swapped out the Azumarill because you have the Obstagoon that can match up against this Lickitung so well, but that low health Azumarill can do things against the Kanto Ninetales in the back, so maybe Rise knows
that the Azu's going to have value versus the rest of the team, so really only Azu's neutral and then Lickitung is...
Recognizing that Rise Occasion wouldn't come in with his Galarian Stunfisk and give up switch advantage willingly unless he had a better check to this Lickitung. And here he goes, he pivots out.
He's going to have to shield this.
But still saving the Lickitung for a potential sack swap or clearing debuffs.
This Azu has a lot of health though. Or enough health. Let's see, is this enough?
And this Azumarill is going to faint to this weather ball, but you wasted a bunch of energy and there's still two protect shields left for this Obstagoon in the back.
Yeah, you know, and this might be a tough spot for Pranav because that Obstagoon pretty bulky too. It's not a standard type of Pokemon. It can take quite a bit of damage just for neutral, and it's able to throw back neutral counters and neutral nice slashes or even cross shots.
Okay, he does get the shield.
Either way, Rise
but it looks like Rise is going to be able to take this game.
Yeah, and even though there's not same type of attack bonus on these counters, it's so much pressure. I mean, look how close Obstagoon gets to you when it's throwing that counter. It's just pressuring you like crazy. And the Lonely Ninetales is getting quite low on health. It's going to be taking so much pressure. It needs to get to 2 weather balls here. It's almost at it, but there's a Night Slash coming out soon from the Obstagoon.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, if Pranav's keeping track of the counts here, he might go for a catch here, but it's got to be incredibly well timed. And let's see what he does.
Oh, Rise playing nice play.
He doesn't end up catching the move, I believe, but
this is game over.
Might have pressed the Night Slash as well, and no, gets the counter through, so now able to throw this Night Slash, and that will probably seal the deal here against this alone.
Nice play by Rise, not letting the catch. Nicely played by just like really nice play by Rise, realizing that the Azu is going to have value no matter what, right? And if there happens to be a meta champ in the back then he has to draw it out with the G-Fist somehow because Obstagoon has absolutely no shot there. So
a really interesting
really
game
nice
too.
play.
I think
Even though
Pranav
if there was a
really
Medicham
strong
back,
there,
the
but
game would
Shadow
definitely be
Knight,
over.
although it hits hard, cannot tank nearly as much damage, and Obstagoon being on the bulkier end too was well poised there. So I think if Pranav had
Though
Medicham
it's
in
like
the back, that
pretty
would've been a
tough to
very different
bring
story. You know,
Medicham
Stunfisk and Obstagoon
just
there,
in the
I think
face
really
of
positioned very well.
is that
And
Shadow
might have been
Sableye
switching over to the
or
Lane
Purified
to potentially
Purified
draw that
Sableye?
Medicham and realizing there was no Medicham,
Double
he felt
Ghost,
comfortable.
a Charmer, and another
That's
Fairy
exactly
type.
what
It's just
Pranav
like
is
there's just no
doing,
way.
trying to bait out the Medicham so that Obstagoon guaranteed has no counters because you saw the Azumarill in the front. So that's the hardest counter for Obstagoon. And if you bait out the Medicham, that's the second hardest counter for Obstagoon. And then it has so much play in the back.
The one fast move difference though was really huge. Though Rise would have been one CMP, so it didn't really matter there too much.
So you have to think, how does Pranav adjust? Do you bring both the counters Obstagoon? Do you have to put so much respect on it? Are you that worried about it that you have to devote 2 out of your 3 slots to try to counter it?
Yeah, and you know, looking at these teams here, it's really tough for Pranav to bring that Medicham. Now we got Obstagoon double weak to fighting, which Medicham is, and
Yeah,
also
you can see
having
here.
moves that are resisted or only hitting neutral against Medicham. You got the nice lock in Medicham. A bunch
So 2 more teams.
Let's
No,
put
and
this
maybe
here
the
there.
Obstagoon- yep.
When it's like really good players, they take a while
Once again,
to.
it is the Azumarill lead, but it's the Galarian Stunfisk. And this is going to be Ice Beam play rough, so it's not terrible. An instant swap, say swap into the Azumarill, knowing that Pranav has nothing to answer that say swap.
Yeah, this Azumarill safe swap is going to be very strong. Pranav is a 1 bubble advantage over the opposing Azumarill, so does have the energy lead here. But
Rise is trying to bait out the Lickitung, if there is a Lickitung back there.
both the safe Y and the Kanto Ninetales can handle. So honestly, we have this information right
Does
now.
get an
but
extra
it's
bubble
quite
through.
Pranav in the backside, but does he know that, or does he decide to
And
switch
I'm
games?
really happy
Yeah,
that's
now they're
actually
equal
fixed
on
because
they're
now
both
there's.
exactly. Oh no, actually still 1 bubble ahead from Pranav, and as a play rough goes through here. And the thing is, like you see how these play roughs don't do too much to the Azumarill. They're not that impactful. So it's possible Pranav maybe tries to bank a move for later, put it in a more impactful, efficient situation as it gets a bubble through, and then the play rough is going to be landing on Pranav's Azumarill.
Yeah, you know, this is looking very good for Pranav right here because this opposing Azumarill is quite low on health, and once you get this out of the way, the Sableye and the Kanto Ninetales can just run free. That Trevenant really has nowhere to go on Rise's side, and Rise also decided to spend a shield here, which I don't know if it's going to really help him much.
Yeah, Rise is trying to go for alignment, does throw that play rough last second here. Maybe Pranav thinks this is an Ice Beam bait, tries to let it go and still get to a move anyway, or just lets it go. Just lets it go, does not try to go for alignment.
Good
He's
timing.
going to knock out the Azumarill, and now you're going to go for the farm down with the Sableye. But the thing is, there's
We're
another
gonna
play
have
rough,
to
so Rise
shield.
is going to get this shield right back.
Pranav's in a pretty good
I think
spot
this is a
here.
good play by Pranav
In a very
because
good
it can
spot.
get a lot of energy on the Sableye.
I wouldn't be
He's
surprised by
loaded
switch
up
out.
there, and that's going to really help against the Galarian Stunfisk as well as the Trevenant. There's really not a bad situation on getting this energy on the Sableye, especially with the Obstagoon not in play in this game, as well as the lone Ninetales.
And deciding once again to swap out into the Galarian Stunfisk.
The Ninetales is pretty safe once the Azu's gone.
And if you get ahead on energy, it can handle the
So it looks like going for the CMP.
coming through. I think this Galarian Stunfisk is slightly out of range, but decides to protect shield it anyway. Could have maybe survived, but decided to go down to 0 protect shields.
I think you let this go and then switch.
The Earthquake is coming through onto Pranav's Sableye.
You know, and I think this is actually a very calculated call from Pranav, understanding
Oh,
that
I don't like
still
this play
survive
here.
the Earthquake, still get the foul play off, and have a shield advantage.
I don't
from
like
this
that
Kanto
play.
Ninetales.
I
If you
think
look at
switching it
Rise's
right
side,
away
shield
would have been
advantage
better,
Kanto Ninetales,
but
pretty much anything on the team could even go for the overheat, do a ton of damage.
okay,
And
does
this
get
is
the.
looking very good. Pranav doesn't even know how good it is because there's a Trevenant in the back, which definitely does not want to see that Ninetales.
Yeah, and calculated once
Yeah,
again,
this is,
instead of
this
deciding
is
to
game
swap
over.
the Kanto Ninetales to farm down, decided to stay in with Sableye. And here's the Kanto Ninetales versus Trevenant. It's absolutely just burning this tree, and it goes for the Weather Ball. There's no swap on
Burning
it.
the
There are
tree
no
and Pranav
protect
taking the
shields
win.
left. All this Trevenant can do is sit and take it and get knocked out.
Yeah, it's relying a lot on the Kanto Ninetales in both Game 1 and Game 2, but the results are definitely paying off in Game 2 here. We are even 1-1
Nicely
right
played
now
by
in the winners
Pranav.
semifinals. Pranav able to even up the score and go for a decisive Game 3.
I see a pattern here. I feel like Rise to Occasions is leading or swapping in the Galarian Stunfisk to try to bait out either
Now we
Medicham
go
or
decisive
a
game
Kanto
3
Ninetales. And like you said,
between
the
these
poise
two.
and precision from Pranav, only taking 1 loss in this entire tournament so far. Not going for the bait, because if you get behind on energy against Galarian Stunfisk as you're running the Shadow Kanto Ninetales, you can lose that matchup because it just gets the rock slides and earthquakes.
We're in this
So
skip
the
ahead
Shadow
here.
is
Like to like, you know, sure.
Trev if
Like to just two.
okay. So but they're two
Looking at game because
trying to building against the top
thing
other
and, yeah, so this is probably not the Ninetales. And you can see Pranav very excited because the Kanto Ninetales definitely has advantage here.
yeah, one of those Ninetales
I
dominates
see
the other.
Pranav
versus
made a
the Azumarill
huge
swap.
mistake
And
here.
this is something, like I mentioned, that must be calculated. This is something that Pranav must know is good in this situation.
Honestly, this is a.
It doesn't make sense, but it might flip this Azumarill matchup now.
Yeah, you know, understanding
This was
that
a
Rise
pretty
is
big
super
mistake
strong and
on
Rise using that
Pranav's
quick
side,
takedown to his own Azumarill
'cause,
is crucial here because alignment in this match is
He has to know that the Azu say swap's gonna come, right?
When a Pokemon swaps in on you, you throw a little damage on them to sure up the next matchup. This was a calculated one, knowing that if you just bring in your
He
own
has to win
Azumarill,
switch
you're gonna
here.
lose alignment, and you want to align your Ninetales versus their Ninetales.
Yeah, just think about the the strategy here. You're staying in a Shadow Fire type against a bulky Water Azumarill and throwing a resistant
Yeah,
Weather
it was
Ball
a
just to get a slight advantage on health here. And we actually see Rise pivot away and go straight into the
nice
Alolan
job
Ninetales.
by
Now, the
Rise
switch are a little
here.
misaligned here, but the
But
Central Ninetales should be poised to come back in. Really.
Yeah, within 2 seconds, I think. So couldn't come back in and maybe go for a fast move down. It is going to be threatened by Psyshock, so it's going to decide to use a Protect Shield, but Pranav does have 2 Protect Shields. Decides the last second throw a Weather Ball. I really like this play because you do not have to give up a Protect Shield now. Oh, wow! Rise to the occasion gives up one just to try to get the shields down, to try to throw your own
see, I don't like this play by Pranav here.
Really good play by Pranav right
I
there.
think
Understanding
it
that
would have survived the
those shields are
Psyshock,
farmed out. He's gonna have to invest in
and
shields, so
then
forcing Rise to make a decision to match shields or come away without.
Azu has way too
So
much health.
forcing Rise to also shield there. Both trainers are trading shields.
And this was a confusing
Protect
shield as
coming
well.
out from Rise's Azumarill.
Wow, and the Shadow Canton Ninetales is switch locked, so this is going to be a bubble down here. So we're going to see how impactful this energy is. And against Sableye in the back, this is very impactful energy. Play rough is going to be super effective. It's going to do a ton. So Pranav decides to just bring in the own Azumarill to try to soak up this energy. That's a really smart play.
Okay, this is going to be a nail biter here. We already see the writing on the walls. We see the Sableye going to come in, go for that very aggressive farm down, but this Azumarill is probably going to throw one last charge move before switching to the Galarian Stunfisk, and we do get a bait out with that Ice Beam here. I think it's a very good
this
great
game
play
over.
from Rise, because Pranav knows there's a good likelihood it could be a play rough, and now going for the Shadow Claw down, getting a lot of energy, and then finally Rise decides to swap over. I think recognizing that he's not going to get to another charge move with that Azumarill anytime soon.
Yeah,
Now
some
we have a loaded Sableye
misplays
into the
by
Galarian
Pranav
Stunfisk.
in this
Galarian Stunfisk,
matchup.
no doubt going to go for that Earthquake, but is it going to be enough?
But look at the dimensions on this. It's gonna need 3 foul plays, and the Earthquake is here. We saw before that the Sableye is gonna be able to take it as the foul play does come out first, but we saw earlier that the Galarian Stunfisk can take this, no problem. There's still energy to be had before the next foul play, so this is charge move priority. This is the Earthquake here. This is gonna do a lot to the Sableye. We saw a Sableye live before. Can it live once again? It does, but it's so low health. You have to get to the foul play here, and you get to the foul play. But Caleb, this is gonna come to a fast move off. It's gonna come down to Bubble versus Shadow Claw.
And that Azumarill has still a decent amount of health left, and
One Bubble.
Yeah,
oh,
nicely
just
played.
Probably 1 or 2 Shadow Claws off.
Yeah, nicely played by Rise in that one. Obviously, Pranav had to deal with the Azu safe swap. Probably wasn't expecting the Azu to come in because it is the hardest counter against the Ninetales, but you kind of have to just go to Azu, try to win switch in that situation, right? Just not being that prepared for the safe swap there was end up being really costly. And then shielding, obviously was worried about the Obstagoon, but the Obstagoon was gonna it was like the Azu was gonna come back in. So and then the shield on the Azu was a very weird third game, to be honest. So but Rise was able to come in. And then this next one's against Bird Power, the senior sensation, who has and this is in the winners final. So whoever wins this, obviously Bird Power plays senior, so she's already has the ticket to Worlds, but for Rise, this is actually Rise is guaranteed as well. So Rise has already got a ticket to Worlds, but obviously is looking for the free ride there. When we take a look at these teams here, we see the Trev, we see the Double Ghost. So we see the Double Ghosts, and we see so Medicham again difficult to bring because of the first 4 Pokemon. Walreign's okay against the team. The Obstagoon and the Ninetales make it pretty tough, but the opposing Ninetales is also pretty good here. Just has to be careful of the G-Fist. But let's see what these two decide to bring.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be where it gets really tough here. Again, it looks like Rise's team compared to Bird Power's team. We do see that he is bringing that Obstagoon today, and he's also going to be bringing Azumarill, Alolan Ninetales, Sableye, Trevenant, and Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah, and Bird Power has Trevenant, the Shadow Walrein, Medicham, Purified Sableye, Galarian Stunfisk, and a mirrored Alolan Ninetales.
Azu's not as safe a swap, but Azu's actually pretty decent here. Has like 3 positive matchups, like 2 neutral matchups, and then 1 negative matchup. So do you expect the Azu on Rise's side?
This matchup, given that there is an Alolan Ninetales on Bird Power's side.
And then the A9 also looks good. So like Double Fairy looks pretty strong here.
Looks like we're actually going to be getting into the battle here. So let's go ahead and see. We have an Alolan Ninetales from Rise's side leading off into the Medicham. Terrible lead for Bird Power 13. She has to decide to make a pivot, but she cannot because she has a Sableye in her backline as well.
Yeah, she is a bit ABA weak to the Ninetales. We see that she is actually going for the Ice Punch bait. We see a shield coming from Rise. What a great bait from Bird Power 13 here.
And a great call here from Bird Power to go for the bait here. And
Well, definitely not. Okay, actually you definitely let this go. It's actually pretty good for.
Ice getting no shielded, given that the Charms would have likely fainted later. We're going to have to see an Alolan Ninetales come in here, and we're probably going to see a pivot into the Azumarill after, if I had to guess.
But the
Yeah,
double
actually,
fairy,
looking to stay
Rise
in over
knows.
here. I think his idea here is that, you know, the Alolan Ninetales has done its job already. It's gotten more than one Pokemon.
So I briefly saw this match. I didn't like the shield here at all.
A bit of an unfortunate
I think
shield there from Bird Power 13.
I think would have been in a really good spot if didn't shield it.
Pretty safe Pokemon against that Alolan Ninetales. An immediate switch out by both players to get.
Yeah, we see the double fairy.
This is a very interesting matchup, given that the Sableye does learn return.
And this match is not over yet. In the one shield scenario here, it
Nice
looks like Bird
bait.
Power making an insane call, going for the foul play bait, able to get the.
But
protection from
Rise in a
Ninetales.
really
Shield
good
is
spot
cleared.
here.
I wonder if he is going to go for a bait of his own just to get the player off here, because the Sableye will be pacing very quickly.
Yeah, we see that the play rough comes in and it goes shielded. I think this Sableye is going to be able to reach for this next return, and it comes out right before the play rough, and we see that the return is being thrown. It will do a lot.
But
of
this
damage to
is game
Sableye,
over
but it's
here.
gonna be quite enough to knock out.
Yeah,
Saving the
very
shield
bold
would have been
here.
really
It can be
advantageous
effective, but
for
unfortunately,
Bird
Sableye
Power.
typing, it will be taking super effective damage.
Still would have been an uphill battle.
It's gonna be up to this Alolan Ninetales to
Gonna have to
see
charm
if they
down.
can overcome a Galarian Stunfisk. This could be very difficult for
And
Bird Power.
it's
with the
going.
clock
Oh,
coming out,
okay,
Galarian
there we
Stunfisk
see the
is able
switch.
to
Yeah.
run in and is able to
And then
retrieve
Rise
strong
picking up a
sides
very nice
against the ice
first
punch.
game win.
The Alolan Ninetales, this will be enough to knock out. Bit of an unfortunate team of 3 for Bird Power 13
Yeah,
there.
the double fairy.
That Alolan Ninetales.
I think
Yeah, it's a little
the
unfortunate, but you know,
first line, Bird Power is obviously a very strong battler, but the double fairy was like really strong against Bird Power's team. So bringing the Medi was like super risky
like we said, here, this is
in
best of
the
one,
lead,
best of three
or
here, so it
bringing
is
two
possible
things
for
weak
Bird Power
to
side
fairy
play
types
side.
was
They've kinda
super
had to
risky.
chill out and kind of trying to understand what their different styles are.
I like the A9,
Presence on both sides.
but
It's
it's
surprising
very
that
tough to
Bird
bring
Power
both.
bringing double weakness to Alolan Ninetales. Kind of see Rise in his setup, right? He chose not to bring in Obstagoon, not to bring in Sableye.
Because like,
Okay, I'm gonna
what
stay
does
here.
A9 really have
It's
to
a
fear,
combo,
right? It has to fear.
devastating damage it can do.
It has to fear the Chief is basically that's it, right?
Charm is pretty devastating if you're not a steel type or a poison type.
The really tough
The Trev in the one shield's fine. Walrein still loses the one shield, but can still do damage. So
Galarian Stunfisk for both of these battlers, but he also has the Azumarill, which has the bulk in order to withstand those charms. Bird Power has one Pokemon, or has 2 Pokemon that are going to be neutral. Of course, the mirror match in that Alolan Ninetales to make it a really great 18 Tails matchup, and then the resist
Protect. You don't want to see the two
to answer to not be smacked in the right
adjustments to make this here. Does bring the right answer, I think.
Oh.
I think she is ready.
This is a Walrein, a pretty neutral
okay,
matchup
so
in the league.
Walrein does win this
Like we talked
matchup.
before, Rise thinking about, you know, maybe on counter a Galarian Stunfisk here.
The
Does bring
Earth
right
Power
answer, I
does
think,
do
Azumarill, but
quite a bit of
I think
damage.
Walrein is going to be hitting quite hard with that Earthquake, and this is more of a neutral matchup here.
And this matchup is
Both of
very
them
dependent
trying to
on the
sneak
exact
here.
Stats of these Pokemon, I believe Walrein has different break points, and Azumarill has different bulk points that really change how much damage the Powder Snows do. We see the Earthquake coming immediately, no shielded by Rise. Bird Power's got to be happy about that.
And we are gonna,
Good
we are
timing.
about to reach the first kind of decision inflection point here. I think the play rough
Okay,
is
I don't mind
shielded
that.
by the Walrein here. Bird Power deciding to invest in early protect shield so that the Walrein can reach an Earthquake. But fortunately for Rise,
They were going to be to the move anyways. Like you have to sneak there in order to be to the move. So you definitely want to farm up. Oh, okay. I don't like that play there. I think farming more was really critical there.
Backlines here with the Alolan Ninetales and Medicham, and the Medicham versus Galarian Stunfisk. It's really important where that Medicham lands. Down a shield, able to not able to get to that Earthquake, unable to pull.
Does get to the move here, but would have allowed the Ninetales to have less farm.
Heavily pivotal for Bird Power right here. So she went for the Ice Pulse right there. It's not just the fact that the Walrein is about to be fainted. It's the fact that you are about to go into a Charm versus Charm mirror match. In the Charm versus Charm mirror match, shields don't matter. The health matters right here. So great call. We're going to see the Galarian Stunfisk, and she laid the perfect trap right there. Winning alignment with Walrein allowed her to get a huge advantage in this match right here. And now you have Medicham. It is going to be able to punch down this Galarian
I think you
Stunfisk,
shield
maybe
this.
take some energy into the next match. Because into the next matchup.
Yeah, because of the energy advantage that the Galarian Stunfisk
Yeah.
got, we do see an Earthquake getting shielded. Really great call from Bird Power. Not expecting a bait there. We do see Ice Punches. The Galarian Stunfisk might be able to survive.
I think you CMP tie on the next one. So you do 2 more than okay. Actually no, he snuck one, so it's 1 more. Well, now you get to try to farm down here.
But fortunately for Medicham, it does have that fight
Yeah, you
stuff
do
right
farm
here. So
down.
looks like barely able to reach the rock slide. Isn't it
And then you
right
just,
here. So Rise has to decide whether to use the protect shield here on potential
Nice
psychic
doing
or
one
the
counter
Water
they're
Punch.
throwing
I think
here.
the safer play here
And then I
is
think you
enough to
throw
get
the
her
next
Alolan
Ice
Ninetales
Punch.
forward.
Okay, well, that's fine too.
And
this is definitely game over. Psyshock's not gonna do enough. Nicely done by Bird Power.
And great, and
I would like to
great
see
up
more
there.
farm
Right there,
on
Psyshock.
Walrein versus
Does
the
not get that same type of
versus the Azumarill. Would have put it in a better spot.
Right there. Bird Power right there. I think feeling very good about a rebound in game 2. Identifying that it's all
Oh,
about the alignment.
okay,
in
is
this
there
matchup against
a
Rise here. As long as
dispute
you-
here?
you can have your Alolan
I was in
Ninetales
Montreal,
or your
like
Stunfisk.
walking,
I
so I
think
couldn't
that's
see
gonna
this
be
live,
perfect
but
help
I'm
off
just
this
gonna.
and Rise at how you think you do.
You might
have a mic running it.
If you switch decisions,
Not
very
sure what
small.
happened
What
there.
the leads are, we do see the lead Alolan Ninetales into a lead of Alolan Ninetales. I called it.
And we take a look at the backline over here. So Rise picking a very anti-Medicham team here. So
Oh, wow,
despite
okay.
having both of the Alolan Ninetales here in the lead, it looks like maybe Rise's lineup
Rise trying to scare away. This is a best of
It's
5.
going to be interesting to see which player wins charge move priority here. We do see that the side
I
shot
think you
is
let
thrown
this
from Rise's side,
go.
and we will see a no shield from Bird Power opting for energy over switch. Unfortunately for her, there is a hard counter to that Medicham in the back in terms of both Pokemon there.
Yeah,
You gotta
this is
farm down.
unfortunate here. I think for Bird Power, maybe a strategy is
Okay, I don't like that play. I definitely would have liked to see the farm down. I think with the farm down, energy on energy would have been really, really nice. Yeah, energy would have been really, really nice.
Because now your Medicham has nowhere to go.
And I really like this play from REIS2OCCASION. Of course, the Azumarill is able to resist those cheaper costing Icicle Spears, so Bird Power is incentivized to throw the Earthquakes. We see a play rough coming out here.
Would have been able to make it to 2 Earthquakes beforehand and then threaten the shield. Would have been a really tough situation regardless.
Yeah, and we of course have a little bit more knowledge about what kind of backline there are, backlines are constructed, but for Bird Power, kind of seeing the situation here, Rise with 2 shields and then the Azumarill.
Oh, really big call.
The Psychic and Rise making a stone cold call right there, not concerned.
It still doesn't KO, and the Sableye is like really safe here once the A9's back.
Going to be very strong, and that it's likely
Yeah, and this is
given how Bird Power has not swapped out. We will see this next play rough come in, and I expect an immediate
and we see the
swap
Enza
into
swap.
Sableye
Yeah,
as the
that's
Medicham
game
comes out.
over here.
Unfortunately for Bird Power,
Nicely
this is a
played
very
by
hard counter,
Rise.
not
See,
sure
Rise
for
there
her.
recognizing that once the A9's gone, Sableye is super strong, right? Like there's basically
Rise is just going to need one more foul play here. Doesn't really care about either charge move on Medicham. I think he's seen both of them already. The non-stab or super.
and Rise going for the
as well as the psychic, which is going to be
2 shield flex here.
Yeah, and it looks like the foul play is not even going to be used. REIS2OCCASION decides to farm down with those Shadow Claws. Very well played by Rise, really reading his opponent's team composition, making sure that he has the Pokemon in the back that really hard countered Medicham.
Yeah, this double fairy is really tough to deal with. I'm surprised there's no Trev, to be honest, because I think Trev is pretty strong here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rise bring Obstagoon in this 3rd game, just because I think the Trev is like a must to bring for Bird Power.
Azumarill really kind of showing back up in Milwaukee compared to the previous regional that we were at, and also having a ton of value against Walrein. I mean, forcing Walrein to throw the harder hitting move
Has been very neutralized by that
stone
game on the
now bringing in
Galarian. Doesn't going those attack bonus up. Are running off neutral play
against these
here. It's kind of all those
very
Yeah,
unfortunate
see,
here.
we
I
do
think,
see the Trev here,
Power 13 actually making
and
the decision to stay in because unfortunately again her team is ABA
oh,
weak
it does
against
get
the Sableye here.
denied.
So making a decision to sacrifice the Trevenant here in maybe in favor of getting matching shields and trading that for energy, I don't think it's the worst decision given the circumstance.
Yeah, given the cheapness of C-Bomb in terms of energy, it is able to outpace.
Kinda has to
two
shield
charge moves.
this,
Of course, you
right?
don't want to throw the C-Bomb right away. We do see the bait.
And
We do
then
see the
we're
shield
probably
coming
gonna
from
see the
REIS2OCCASION. It can get to the Shadow Ball a little bit, or actually at the same time as
Yeah,
the
we're gonna
foul
see
play.
Rise
The
farm all the way
Shadow Ball
down.
does go through for REIS2OCCASION. We just see a second shield coming up, opting for switch advantage, giving up a second shield.
And this is actually pretty huge here because I think Rise is choosing to trade both of his shields for a massive energy advantage on Sableye, but with Bird Power 13's lineup, having the shield actually, the Medicham has the opportunity to be the MVP of this match. You should come in with the Ninetales here, absorb a little bit of energy, and the turn is going to do massive damage here, neutral damage here, but you are going to have the yellow Ninetales that can neutralize the Sableye very quickly.
Should be able to farm down though.
Bird Power is that the Sableye could swap out and be preserved for the Medicham, but it is not swapped out. It is farmed all the way down. I do agree. I
You gotta
think
go.
Medicham's in a really solid position here. I'm going to expect the Azumarill to come in because it does not fear. Oh, actually, it's the Galarian Stunfisk, and then the Azumarill counter swap. The Medicham's coming out. It does have the ability to win this matchup, given it has a shield advantage.
And you really have to be able to call one of the players here. Now, Medicham it is able to survive one play rough from the Azumarill here, but you have to protect this Medicham at all costs.
It really needs a defense drop to win this. No defense drop. This is going to
We see
be
no defense drop.
very
We're going to be
difficult
racing to these
for.
charge moves. The play rough comes out. We see a counter go through for Bird Power. This play rough needs to be shielded.
Honestly,
It's
I think
shielded.
you
The
no
Psychic
shield this
will come
first
out
one
against
though,
you. Will be enough
because
to knock out this Azumarill.
you have to hope that they.
Very close to you. I mean, Psychic by itself, it is going to be.
This is
easy
the
Medicham.
Rise is definitely going to make it to the.
It is not going to be enough, and unfortunately, the Medicham
Yeah,
does
you have to
a
hope that
play
they
rough
make
here
it
before the
to.
Azumarill is fainted.
This doesn't KO.
Was not quite up for Bird Power 13 there.
You have to try to counter down.
Trying to catch for a neutral charge move onto that Alolan Ninetales. We see that the Medicham is almost able to farm all the way down. It's going to reach potentially 2 Ice Punches here. Goes for the catch of the Rock Slide. We see the Rock Slide being thrown. It is caught.
Okay, very nice
Unfortunately, Ice
catch.
Punches are not same type attack bonus. They're not very hard-hitting moves. We'll have to see exactly how much damage they do to this Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah, and I
There's
think it's a
no
good call
way.
here. But oh, the Medicham is so low from the mud shots right here. I do not think that she is going to be able to knock this Stunfisk out in time. And the Azumarill still has quite a chance.
I think
And we see that the
this
Ice Punch
is.
does less than 50% of that Galarian Stunfisk's remaining health.
It's
This
not
next
enough.
mud shot did go through. This Ice Punch is not enough to knock out. And
Nicely
even
played
without
on both
Warrior,
sides,
we're going to
but
see that the
Rise.
Medicham feints to the mud shots. That is
Rise just making like the really nice reads there, bringing the Sableye, expecting the Trev, because Trev, like Rise was just like obviously Bird Power was scared of the Sableye and Obstagoon to bring in Trev, but Rise was just daring Bird Power to bring the Trev in the 4th game there and was able to come out topping. We're gonna go to
The
winners
decisive winner
final.
for REIS2OCCASION is moving on to the grand finals. Bird Power's not out of it yet. She's going to be moving down into the losers finals, and we'll see her on stage for our next match.
Yeah, great effort from Bird Power 13 right there. I think in that particular scenario.
Really good lead. It's going to be really good against Azumarill. Alolan Ninetales has played against Trevenant. Obstagoon, Galarian Sunfist. You have to
Okay,
expect
very
Trevenant
rough
to
lead
do
for
this.
Rise.
This is a really good lead. This is the Obstagoon into the Trevenant.
Yeah, and this Trevenant is doing triple resistance shadow calls against this Obstagoon, and we do
Try to
see
catch
Rise
there.
swapping over to this Galarian Sunfist to catch some of this energy. It is going to be a cross chop, which is super effective, but without that same type of attack bonus, it's not going to do nearly as much as from a true fighter.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Actually deciding to absorb
Oh
this
man,
energy, which is
honestly,
super
if
effective, but
Rise
like
would have
it's not
sacked,
the same attack bonus. But the thing is, this Galarian Sunfist is going to be forced to
if Rise would have sacked the Trev here, actually would have been able to easily win this game.
Yeah, and so this puts Rise in an interesting situation. Getting that Protect Shield with this Earthquake is crucial because we do see that low 9.
Needs to wait the clock out fully, but Doombug's just gonna switch to Reggie here.
Really tough for this Alolan Ninetales.
Yeah. Oh, it's switching to Ninetales.
Going with the Alolan Ninetales is still switch locked and taking all this poison jab damage. He wants to get out so badly, but he can't, and he's caught on the poison thing.
Yeah, and this is a tough part with those switch timers misaligned, and this might force a shield. No, Rise choosing not to shield and putting everything on this Trevenant here. Trevenant already have the Shadow Ball energy, and this is going to be huge if we can get the shield here or not. And Doombug chooses not to shield, and now we're probably going to see that Obstagoon back at it again against the Trevenant. But Trevenant does have the shield advantage here.
Trevenant has to be like a true
Oh
tree
man,
on its ground against two
it has
Pokemon
so
in the
much
back. It does
energy.
have two
This is
protect shields, but
game
using
over
one
here.
And the Obstagoon is just so healthy. Like you mentioned, the Shadow Claws aren't going to do anything, so you have to land at least 2 seed bombs, maybe even 3.
Yeah, this is so tough. All the Shadow Claw damage just getting absorbed by this Obstagoon. Does not care at all for the Shadow Claw damage, and Doombug knows that this has to be a C-Bomb because that Shadow Ball is also triple resisted, making this a very easy match for Doombug to call on when to shield and when not to.
Might be slightly out of Night Slash range, but does protect shield anyway. There are 2 Night Slashes available for Doombug. The switch timer isn't quite back up yet, so gonna go for the back here for the second Night Slash.
Yeah, see, if Rise would have farmed up a little bit more against the Nidoqueen, then
Rise really trying to get that switch timer and just bank as much energy as possible. But then here comes the Reggie Seal
yeah,
versus
this
the
Reggie's
Alolan
just
Ninetales.
gonna
This is
unlock all the
not
way
a fun
down.
time at all for the Alolan Ninetales, farming a lot of energy here and having the Focus Blast ready.
I'm just gonna
Rise
Focus
is going to see
Blast
the first match
and
here.
this
Yes, throwing the
is
Focus
GG.
Blast. This Trevenant is really low health. Gonna go ahead and knock that out, and Doombug takes game
Nicely
number
played by
1 in the
Doombug.
grand finals to try to reset the bracket.
Yeah, and you see Rise taking notes here, trying to figure out how to adjust this game too. And you know, that was a super tough matchup. I think the hard part there is for Rise, the switch timer was never on his side. He wanted the Obstagoon in against the Lone Ninetales, but was just stuck in that matchup still. And Nidoqueen getting a lot of energy.
Ooh,
I think that's
really
call from Doombug
rough,
because Nidoqueen puts on a lot of fast move pressure. If it was a Reggie Seal, it wouldn't be near
Honestly,
that bad, but that Lone Ninetales taking
Doombug
a
just played a
lot of
really
damage
nice
in that process,
team
just waiting
against
for that switch to get out of that
Rise.
Trevenant,
Like
but,
Rise basically having two answers to the wall rain in the form of G-Fist and Ninetales. Obviously, the G-Fist match is pretty close.
Manipulate the switch timer more because it's more clunky, takes time to get the moves, and then you can maybe swap out of it, but just was not in the favor there. And how do you address the Shadow Nidoqueen? The Shadow Nidoqueen has so many good matchups. We see the Galarian Stunfisk actually used as a safe swap to absorb energy from
But the Shadow Nidoqueen has 3 positive matchups. 3 positive matchups, like 1 neutral matchup and then 2 negative matchups. It's not crazy good, but definitely can have some play.
This is not a great spot to be in.
Yeah,
oh man.
Met by the Nidoqueen, at least baiting out the Shadow Nidoqueen, and the Night Slashes.
This is playable still, right?
Aren't really gonna do that much. This is Nidoqueen's matchup.
Yes, but maybe a boost can change the tempo here, and we don't get a boost on the first Night Slash. This Nidoqueen's loading up on energy, and let's see if it goes for Earth Power. No, it does go for the Earth Power.
Wow, going for the big Earth Power here. If Rise decides to shield it, maybe could flip this matchup. No Protect Shield. The Earth Power knocks out the Obstagoon, but you're gonna go with Stunfisk. The thing is, it's gonna be so hard to Mudshot down. This Nidoqueen's gonna be forcing another.
You have to Mudshot down.
Yeah, and so
you have to shield and Mudshot down.
From Rise just to preserve some of the health on this Galarian Stunfisk. As you can see here, getting a lot of energy on the Stunfisk is still a good position because these Earthquakes will definitely hurt the Swampert here.
And now going for the full Mudshot down, I think, or this is definitely just the poison thing, and Rise knows that no Protect Shields instantly. Over at 100 energy, you can't go over that. So not really gaining energy here, and then we see the pivot swapping into the Swampert to absorb all this energy, and going for the Earthquake straight away. Can it fall through 2 shields? No.
He gets shielded here, but we still have the Azumarill, which I assume will probably
You guys see the catch?
Maybe builds up the second Earthquake. Let's see how it goes. And Ashley goes for the second Earthquake, but this Hydro Cannon is going to come through first.
Gonna have to shield this. And then Doombug has Sludge Wave on his, so.
Now here comes a second Earthquake.
You don't want to waste all that energy, and the second Protect Shield does come up from Doombug here. Like you mentioned, the switch timer is available. You think you'd have to get out. Maybe you try the swap on a Hydro Cannon.
He's gonna try to catch. Oh, very nice.
Doombug
just like too aware of the energy, and this Sludge Wave is.
But Doombug being patient and overcharging a little bit and just waiting for the Azumarill to come out. And here comes the Sludge Wave.
We'll be able to live the Hydro.
And let's see if Rise does go for the play rough, but here comes a Hydro Cannon first. This should not KO.
The Ice Beam wouldn't have KO'd.
Azumarill might just be out of range of the Hydro Cannon and is comfortably out of range. And this play rough might be out of range though too.
Yeah, this play rough doesn't.
This play rough, it is going to be quite close. Maybe this Azumarill could get a bubble down, but the switch timer's back up, so you just swap over into the Shadow Wall Rain, and now you have so much momentum. You could go for the Icicle Spear right before the play rough.
Yes, and we do see the play rough play rough actually coming out here.
We're just gonna see the full farm down.
Taking the play rough, knowing that the Shadow Walrus can still survive comfortably here and get even more energy.
And we're gonna see a huge EQ. Wow, this is gonna be devastating here. Yeah, Doombug just making like really great predictions against REIS.
And that will knock it out. And that's a 3-ball flex, 3 Pokemon alive for Doombug, and takes it 2-0.
Yeah, that's a tough matchup for REIS. These have been, you know, again, we talked about this. So yeah, it's
Team, but he's cleaning up. Everyone
using the first bracket.
we've seen here together.
I haven't seen this thing Registeel.
And interesting, this back line looks really good for REIS though, because it has the Obstagoon in the back, also has the Alolan Ninetales, and if that ever matches up against the Obstagoons and Doombug's backline, as REIS does throw this foul play to the Registeel, does not protect shield it. Sometimes you do to try to throw the Zap Cannon and debuff your opponent.
Yes, and so we're gonna see this first Zap
But
Cannon.
Reggie gets the 2 Zap Cannons, so.
If you don't shield this one, the next one might just be a Focus Blast, which is a little less energy intensive. And here comes
And we
this
see the
Swampert
switch
Bait
out,
Pumpkin.
yeah.
There might not be a Trevenant here, and it is met with an Obstagoon.
Yeah, and maybe Doombug likes this matchup of Swampert better once the Sableye is debuffed by the Zap Cannon, brings it in, but just gets so much of an energy advantage met by the Obstagoon, but the Obstagoon's already within Hydro Cannon range. And
Oh, okay. It should have been CMP there.
You just completely sacrifice it. It has energy.
Gonna have to shield this, but it's gonna get outpaced there. That's very unfortunate.
So, you know, being slow on the counter swap against Swampert is always a tough situation because that Swampert just generates energy so quickly, and now Doombug can completely
It's gonna be
flip,
CMP
switch
tie.
here if he chooses to, but not before the
Oh,
Swampert
okay.
gets nice
That was weird.
Yeah, the
That was
Nuzlocke is
weird.
gonna be protect shielded. Maybe REIS didn't know exactly what to do with that Sableye Swampert. I really like the call from Doombug, knowing Trevenant's probably not in the game because you already saw Sableye. There isn't going to be 2 ghosts into an Obstagoon
Okay.
team. And this is going to be charged with priority. Perfect timing to throw this Hydro Cannon right as REIS2OCCASION was at that Night Slash, and there is one more Hydro Cannon banked.
Yeah, and these Hydro Cannons are going to hurt both the Sableye and the Lone Ninetales here, so this is a tough spot. For
We're
REIS
gonna
to
see
be in.
definitely see that A9,
REIS
right?
Knowing that the Registeel's there without switch advantage just makes it very tough, so I think willing to just sacrifice. No, comes in with the
Oh,
Sableye
try to
after,
catch the Sludge
bringing
Wave?
the
I'm
Lone
not
Ninetales,
sure.
Maybe potentially trying to catch a Sludge Wave, but ends up just being a Hydro Cannon here, and now it's going to Shadow Fall down, but it's going to be met with that triple resisting Ghost Obstagoon.
Yeah, all of the faith is now into the Sableye. You're going to have to throw this,
This
return
is very
into Obstagoon.
bad.
The thing is, REIS already knows there's a Registeel in this matchup, so this Alolan Ninetales isn't going to be doing too much there. I think maybe, okay, now you go for the foul play before the move. I don't know if this foul play is going to be enough because Obstagoon
It
does
doesn't
resist
really
this.
matter here
Obstagoon might
because
get the counter
we're just
down
gonna.
afterwards.
Yeah, and because of that catch play that REIS was trying to employ earlier, he is unfortunately switch locked there, so he couldn't even go to Lone Ninetales even if he wanted to.
Gonna throw the cross chop just for I'm not sure for
what
what reason, but
and
then
and this thing is going to do a lot. Oh no, it's actually already has some chip damage on it, but
yeah, this is I guess the puts into Focus Blast range or Zap Cannon range.
What an emphasis here. This is 3-0
Nice,
for Doombug
like
to reset
do.
the bracket.
Oh, actually,
you know, a very decisive
just
first
survived by
set,
1
but
HP,
because REIS is
and
already
Doombug
in
resetting the
will come back
bracket
reset for another
versus
best of
REIS.
But if you're Doombug, you're feeling pretty good at this moment. You're in the driver's seats. You have every matchup you want, and REIS is probably
After debuff, 2 ghosts will play it on a
tough matchup.
alignment. Your Milwaukee
Players here, things
2-0 to these 2
here, and Umper get
fade out and Shadow Nidoqueen.
REIS the arm down. Bad matchup for REIS.
In game number 1 of these grand finals, and here's a matchup.
Nice
There's
lead
another
by
matchup that
REIS.
the Alolan Ninetales found. It is going to be the Shadow Wall Rain.
Yes, and so this is not a bad
But
matchup for REIS,
the
unfortunately, REIS
back
has
line
double
is
ghost
so
now
rough
here,
here.
so still does not want to see this obstacle, but look at these charms.
Gonna see
charming
a
away against
bait.
the wall rain. Doombug is going to go for Ice Cold Spear. Bait does REIS shield, and REIS does shield, but even with the shield, this wall rain is quite low on health already.
And it looks like REIS will be forced to double shield unless you throw a charge move. So the Side Shock will come out to try to force a protect shield and actually just letting
Then you
wall
just
rain
gotta go.
knowing there are
You just
angles
gotta go.
like the Registeel. And you have to imagine there's going to be a swap here.
You
instantly
gotta go.
disable
He's gonna
This is
switch it
terrible.
right away.
Oh,
This
no,
is
actually
definitely
staying
the
in,
correct
so
way.
Shadows gonna be instant swap to the Obstagoon, but trying to debuff it first. No, actually trying to
Oh,
catch
got a
the foul play
huge
with Rain.
refund there.
Yeah, so a really great play by Doombug there too. Trying to catch the foul play, but REIS thinking one step ahead, not throwing the foul play right away, expecting that there might be a catch coming. And this puts REIS
Pretty sure
in
there's a
very
refund
commanding
there.
position. This is what we talked about in a few sets ago, where we talked about the pivot. You got the Lone Ninetales that's good against both the Shadow Ball Rain and the Obstagoon, and that Lone Ninetales is very healthy and can handle this Obstagoon.
Not sure
very well.
why
And then you try to close it
they're-
out with the Trevenant.
And maybe got a little too greedy, but this Sableye is within Night Slash range, is going to be throwing the Night Slash. There's only 1 protect shield left, and this Obstagoon is still
Doombug
locked
knows
in
what's
here.
in the
So you're gonna see
back,
REIS
right?
put in
So,
the Alolan Ninetales straight away, not going to miss any time, going to click it instantly, and that's what REIS does, is going for these super effective charms. Doesn't have to worry about any of the damage. The cross chop won't do too much.
And just
we
let this
talked
go
about
and
how
farm all the way
Lone
down.
Ninetales was stuck against that Shadow Nidoqueen a few matches ago and had nowhere to go. Now we got the roles reversed with the Lone Ninetales locked into this.
Gonna try to
Obstagoon
save
trying
it,
to
but
get
it's
out
gonna
there.
be too
Doombug
late.
spamming the switch, but cannot get the switch off. Gets charmed down, and here
I would
comes
like to see
Trevenant.
the move thrown beforehand,
REIS2OCCASION does have the Lone Ninetales to swap back out.
but it doesn't really matter.
You have to wait your full switch timer to get back to it, so you'll need to throw a lot of charge moves and wait a lot of time, but you will be going straight for Shadow Balls here. You will be getting to that before the next Zap Cannon, so throwing that straight away, this is a really good position for REIS. Bringing that Alolan Ninetales, and there's actually
Doombug has no choice but to take this, hoping for the bait. That's like really the only way to win.
Yeah, we see the first Shadow Ball not get shielded here, and I completely get it because it's
If you no shield a C-bomb, then probably does end up winning this match.
Trevenant here, and Trevenant trying to buy the time, but I think maybe it was a mistake not shielding that Shadow Ball because here comes an even more debuff Shadow Ball that Doombug is unfortunately forced to shield.
I think you bring in the Ninetales here. I think you teach Reggie a lesson. I think you bring it in. I think you knock
You
this
teach
thing out
Reggie
with
a
the Alolan
lesson.
Ninetales, as this Zap Cannon is going to be able to knock out the Trevenant. So REIS is forced to knock out with the Alolan Ninetales. We do know the Alolan Ninetales has energy.
And then REIS tried to BM here,
On this Registeel.
Yes, we
but
watched, the past 30 minutes, the Alolan Ninetales had nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, and now the Alolan Ninetales getting some revenge here and able to take a game off of this Registeel.
And that's a way to cut off
Nicely
momentum.
done.
Yes.
Doombug was up 3-0, but now we're in a fresh 0-0 series in REIS. Takes game
Nice
number 1.
job
The
by
whole momentum
REIS.
has
The instant swap.
Doombug
Already
takes
knew
two
what he
to
needs to
Alolan
do.
Ninetales
He
at this
needs
game.
the
They think they
A9.
scared it off. And
Like, there's no
REIS
reason
was
for the
not
wall
affected
ring to stay
at all
unless you
Alolan
have
Ninetales anyway in
unless you have
Yeah, and
Obstacle in the back.
this Nidoqueen in a minute, but I think Doombug might go back to it, understand that Alolan Ninetales still has a very strong matchup both against that wall ring. Not
You just probably back matchup locked into. Now we would be
Doombug and it's doing
Sunfist into the Swampert, so a lead call by
Obviously,
Doombug.
very bad
we
lead.
see the safe swap, Obstagoon on Obstagoon action. We talked about this earlier, and REIS going straight for the cross chop. This is get shielded. It does get shielded. You know, the situation where you could potentially bait with 9 slash, go for a boost and it
Man,
gets shielded.
REIS going
Maybe
back
flip
to
the
his
turn
one of
out
his
this match.
game
REIS has
1
an
lines.
opportunity to swap the alignment like you mentioned, but this Obstagoon is just taking so much damage from counter, and it is going to be the 9 slash because this is going to knock out no matter what. Do you protect
I don't
your
like this shield here.
Is going to win. Charge move priority is going to come down to it. No, before that, the next 9 slash is going to be coming, so could take alignment right here.
Yeah, and we see Dune recognizing how important alignment is, so he's going to go for the shield. Let's see who go. Oh, it is Dune surviving with 1 or 2 HP on the Obstagoon, but going down a shield.
Yes, so alignment does go to Dune because you got the 2 protect shield and the counter through, and the here comes the cross chop.
Yeah,
This is
I don't
super
like,
effective, but Sunfist can take it no problem. This has to come down
this
to
is
lane
game
Sunfist
over
right
here.
But the thing is,
I
if
would
you can get to a
prefer-
move on Alolan Ninetales, that is going to be super effective against Shadow Nidoqueen in the back. So we're going to see if this Alolan Ninetales can in fact get to a move later.
Yeah, and we see this Galarian Sunfist going for that and able to catch a
Able to
Hydro Cannon.
catch.
This is absolutely
REIS-
correct. REIS again understands there's probably Nidoqueen
See,
here.
REIS making the adapting his game, realizing that Doombug wants to throw when on CMP. So really nice play by REIS
Does
there.
not have too much play, catching a crucial Hydro Cannon, saving that Galarian Sunfist.
But we're gonna see a huge farm down here.
Is that possible? Here comes the poison jab down. This Nidoqueen does not have Earth Power yet, and he goes straight for the Earthquake right here to take out this Nidoqueen in all likelihood. Now still having a shield for the Swampert, but can the Swampert survive an Earthquake from the Sunfist?
The thing is, the Swampert has to get the 2 Hydro Cannons before the Earthquake from the Galarian Sunfist. I think it's going to become so close. They're both 1 mud shot away. It
Yeah,
looks like,
really
but the
need to
Swampert
sneak
just
there.
always wins charge move priority. This looks like it's in Doombug's favor.
Yeah, this looks like they're going to tie exactly on charge move. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
and it's exactly
really
what
need
happens, just like we
to
called it. And
sneak there. If got the
one
sneak there,
mud shot
then this
difference
would have
here on
been
the Galarian Sunfist
game
for
over
Dice.
there.
But Doombug able to come back from a very interesting match there too. Despite a very positive lead, that mid game was very interesting with Oscar Mirror.
Yeah, the Doombug,
That was really
the
close
Doombug
there.
going back to
I don't know if the
Swampert and
EQK is there. It's probably really
Doombug knows
close.
is good. But the thing is, say swap matchup.
That's a tough match.
Swampert needs to move super. I think this is
actually very
the Hydro Cannon, but at that point you get out of it, you just stay in it and just go
Obviously,
down to
very
this
bad
Nidoqueen
lead
and
here.
hope they get a
Man,
good matchup
REIS
back
not
to
afraid to
Ninetales.
bring
Yeah,
double
I think REIS is
weaknesses.
very content with this lead matchup. As you see, the Galarian Sunfist is in the back there, and you have the Alolan Ninetales. So as long as this Alolan Ninetales can, and we get the attack boost here. That is absolutely huge. This Obstagoon's attack is going to shoot up there, and let's see if REIS is willing to invest in shields here or not.
That might change REIS's fate.
Oh,
in this
Decisive no
grand
shield.
finals. You need to get to another move. Your defense is
Sticks
falling.
to the plan. I like that.
Nidoqueen, if he wants to maintain alignment, does force the protect shield, but the thing is, can this Obstagoon get to 1 more 9 slash before he gets knocked out?
Yeah, and so after getting debuffed there, it is going to not handle these poison jabs very well, but this Nidoqueen is quite low on health here, and the Galarian Stuff is still here with the shield advantage.
And swapping out into the Swampert, going into the safe
Oh.
swap, bringing in the Alolan Ninetales, and you have to think this Alolan Ninetales needs to shield through this matchup.
Yeah, especially with that sludge wave there too, that is definitely a concern. Let's see how much REIS is willing to invest in his Ninetales. Does shield the first Hydro Cannon here, and does have a Weather Ball ready in case he wants to throw it, and he is going to throw this Weather Ball.
I think you have to throw it because if you just try to charm down, this Swampert's going to get the 3 Hydro Cannons, and you don't want to use both your protect shields and take
It's
some
gonna be able
damage
to make it to the
from
sludge wave.
You might have to, but there's going to be 2 Hydro Cannons no matter what, so you're going to have to protect shield this, and you're still going to have to take a Hydro Cannon.
Yeah, and we actually saw a shield.
Man, this
from Doombug
Nidoqueen
there.
has way too much energy.
So wanting to preserve this Swampert and have a lot of value on it, but it is quite low and it is forced to throw his energy here.
Yeah, and Doombug just getting as low as possible. It's gonna look to mud shot down, but it's gonna be too much.
Does land the poison jab. These counters from the Obstagoon are going to start adding up.
And was trying to get the mud shot down onto the
Yeah.
Swampert, but couldn't quite do it. It was 1 mud shot away.
This
so
is
another
game
Hydro
over.
Cannon is coming out, and that's going to do so much to the Galarian Sunfist. Besides
Honestly,
the
you
no
just
protect shield
maybe
is
just throw a
saved, but
poison
there's Obstagoon
fang.
in the back
Yeah.
because there's an Earth Power already being
Yeah,
thrown
let
with the
go.
protect shield this anyway.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're gonna shield
put it
this,
in a
but
very
this
tough
one.
spot. Having to let a super effective Hydro Cannon from Swampert go through just to protect it from the Earth Power, and here comes the Obstagoon, and it's countering
Yeah,
down, and I think
and,
REIS understands
Doombug
he's
throwing
riding on
a
the
nice
wall, is gonna
slash.
concede in this
So
decision.
Doombug going
Yeah,
up
the
2-1.
is gonna knock out Galarian
Again.
Sunfist. Once again, Doombug kind of calling the team composition, winning leads and taking it 2-1. So now 1 win away from being the champion.
Nicely
Yes, it
done.
is all on the line here. REIS needs to come back and win 2-0 to win this entire region.
Trouble. You're probably Swampert. The word
Bring back that Swampert.
much of it perfect. No, you alter things that good alignment. Obstagoon is the Azumarill.
Yeah, it's almost like REIS.
Good alignment there.
But here comes the Nidoqueen, and here comes the Sableye able to check it. Now things are looking good for REIS2OCCASION. If you look at the backline too, he also has that Obstagoon for the treadment. The Sableye is going to do a lot here, and I think June recognizes that alignment is pretty crucial. He's going to shield this first outplay.
The momentum has shifted once again, and this is going to be a bait. This is going to be just the poison thing, and it is protect shielded, so that is a little bit of advantage to Doombug here. Shielding that bait is not great for REIS.
Yeah, and, you know,
He's
this
gonna
is
have
the
to
thing with
double
Nidoqueen,
shield
too.
here.
You don't want to shield poison fangs, but at the end of the day, you always end up shielding poison fangs. But REIS going to invest both shields here in this this Sableye, understanding that alignment is super crucial here. It's going to farm a lot of energy and now going to throw
I would
the
like
foul
to
play,
see
and this
just
is a
a
tough spot for you.
slightly more farm here.
Go through, the foul play go through on the no queen,
'Cause,
understand that the next foul play is shortly after.
Yeah, as long as you have a Zoomer on Obstagoon, you don't even need Protect Shields because you don't take any damage from the Obstagoon. But the thing is, you're going to be taking this huge return, and I think this Doombug doesn't value Obstagoon anymore because knowing it's kind of useless versus a Zoomer, just going to take this big return and try to sweep the game with Trevenant. But look, there is REIS2OCCASION Obstagoon in the back.
Yeah, you know, the roles are reversed here. A potential Obstagoon.
This is still good, very good for REIS to eat down a shield.
This Obstagoon does not have too much value for Doombug anymore, so REIS feeling content with just letting the return go and saving the shield for the Trevenant. And here comes an
Oh,
Obstagoon.
REIS 5 heading.
I think REIS brought the Obstagoon into the Obstagoon, expecting Doombug to bring in the Trevenant right on spot. You can see REIS' switch timer is still up.
Maybe knowing Doombug's habits of swapping instantly, thinking he's tapping on his switch button, immediately called it out, and here comes the seed bombs into this Obstagoon. It should
This
be
is
able to take
obviously-
it, no problem here, even though there is a Protect Shield remaining. You can get the 2 Night Slashes before the double seed bomb, I think.
Yeah, and you know, this is
No,
only
it's gonna be a
possible
CMP
because REIS did not
tie.
let that Trevenant get ahead on energy. What an incredible
But
play, bringing in
there's
an
really
Obstagoon
nothing.
against an Obstagoon there, understanding that Doombug, like you said, was just going to swap straight to the Trevenant. If Doombug just stayed in and got a few counters off against REIS' Obstagoon, things would look very different now.
Yes, and throwing right on charge move priority to get there. But look, this is going to be on charge move priority once again. But
Yeah,
the
this
Azumarill
doesn't
is so
matter
healthy
here.
in the back, right? So
You can
this is
just
gonna be able to
bubble
double
down
the
this
Obstagoon, but
Trev.
still have that Azumarill in the back. It's going to be hard to bubble down, though. I don't know if you can do it. You might have to
Yeah,
take
you
a
definitely
but at
bubble
least
down.
you're not
Yeah,
worried
it's-
about the
it's-
Obstagoon energy.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And here comes the Obstagoon. Is going for a potential catch, but REIS just choosing to.
I'm not
farm
sure
the
why
extra
REIS-
energy
what
here
REIS is
in
doing
these
here.
extra bubbles. This is still going to take a few bubbles, though.
REIS can't put himself in seed bomb range. He needs to knock out this Obstagoon before.
Okay.
So you have to throw the Ice Beam immediately. You're out of
Yeah, I'm not sure why REIS didn't just take out the Obstagoon right away. He's gonna throw the Obstagoon anyways. He's gonna bubble down.
Yeah, Doombug actually has to go for Shadow Ball here to take this out, and you can see he's pushing for it, going for it, but no, the bubble is going to finish
Not
off.
able to make
And
it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game 5 on our
The
hands.
Shadow Ball
final
wouldn't have
puzzle
KO'd
game
anyways,
in the
but
grand
would
finals,
have made
and
it
the
closer.
bracket reset here.
What a big bubble, knocking out the Trevenant there and bringing that Azumarill and landing it on 5
Kids, wait till line
and just if you're I think you're in a lot.
yeah, how it's going to be all
You got it.
run game in the off.
Amazing the point. Look at this
Part of the plan to
bad matchup versus Shadow Nidoqueen.
yeah, and,
Obviously
I
very
think
bad
REIS
matchup.
is anticipating this. Go straight for the Sableye safe swap, and here comes the Obstagoon. Maybe this is part of the plan to draw this Obstagoon, but this Obstagoon is going to start ramping up on these nice slashes and maybe even get a boost against the Sableye.
This isn't always terrible because at least you do land this big return. We're going to see if the Obstagoon does decide to Protect Shield it. The return is going to be coming out. This is a big decision. Instantly, no Protect Shield.
Yeah, and looking at the backline here, REIS has that Trevenant who can potentially match up against this Swampert too, and that is a huge potential matchup here. And we see that this next nice touch coming through, and REIS is going to shield.
The
here.
shield.
Does
Okay,
Doombug
this is interesting
respect the foul
shield.
play and shield as well, or does it just let it go?
The thing is, the Obstagoon is within foul play range, so has to Protect Shield and get to the next Night Slash. Can Sableye ever swap this alignment here? The next Night Slash should be coming out pretty soon because almost at the foul play and the Shadow Claw, this Night Slash could get double Protect Shielded. Does REIS invest?
Oh, it looks like REIS just decides to let the Sableye go through and maybe comes in with his own Obstagoon. Let's see how he plays it out.
Obstagoon does not want to take a cross chop. Gonna want to counter down, but do not want to take a cross chop, and you will not have to. And the thing is, the Shadow Nidoqueen is here. You have to swap the Trevenant, or maybe you just play this out and then have the good matchup in the backline. That would be really smart.
This could be an incredible read from REIS2OCCASION here. Of course, there's always potential for that Shadow Wall Ray or another Trevenant, so he's got to be worried. But choosing to stay in, and Doombug does not know what's coming. This Trevenant is going to go to town if this Nidoqueen goes down, and is going to no-shield this Earth Power, though.
What a big call, throwing the Earth Power to knock out the Obstagoon, but used all of its energy. The Trevenant might be able to get a Shadow Claw down. It will probably need the shield of Poison Fang in the process, but it will have to probably protect it or let this go and be worried about Swampert energy. REIS knows Swampert's in the back because it's always double ground. Here comes the Swampert. He was expecting this. He just needs to get the 2 seed bombs.
Here comes one seed bomb. You gotta expect.
And this actually was a really nice play by Doombug here, not to shield. Realized he's gonna lose CMP.
Nidoqueen instead. And let's see how it's going to go. Nidoqueen doesn't have
Oh my goodness, this is a fast move up.
Oh man, they tied there. Really nice play both sides. I think not even the KO through the shield. Let's see here. Let's see here.
Instead, let's see how it's going to go. Nidoqueen doesn't have.
Okay, let me just slow this down here. Let's see if they would have. Was there any chance to? No, there was no. Okay, yeah, let's speed this up now. Oh.
We are mistaken. That was not the last game. We have a game 6 here.
Oh my
It
goodness.
does not get-
And you cannot be and just going.
I don't know what to,
This is a good matchup for the having the Trev Dart
needs to just
is the grand with creep
hoping to have that
straight away.
compositions spinning it.
It's really side.
Into the Obstagoon. This is a great lead matchup.
And there it is, and it's a safe swap Shadow Wall Ray, which Doombug has done a lot of times, but the thing is, it's met by the Obstagoon. This Obstagoon does have super effective cross chop, but could decide to go for the Night Slash, decides to go for the cross chop instead.
Yeah, and we do
Shadow
see
Wall
that
Ring
shield
is
from
such
Doombug.
a good
This
safe
is
swap.
looking like a really good alignment for REIS if you can manage it. But Shadow Wall Ring, we've seen time and time again being a menace on this safe swap, generating energy really quickly with these hard-hitting Ice Cold Spears.
But we mentioned it before, Azumarill does not need Protect Shields versus Obstagoon. No shields that, and the thing is, these Powder Snows aren't going to be doing enough. Calling that bait, they are now Protect Shielding this. I think REIS Rise is going to be able to take alignment.
Yeah, so going to probably throw this next charge move before this third Ice Cold Spear comes through, and does
Oh,
throw,
I
but
don't
no,
like
goes
that
for the
play
potential
there.
counter down, and lets Doomba get this last Ice Cold Spear through.
And does go for the counter down here. Should be able to get it and should come out with a lot of energy here. Both trainers are switch locked, so you're going to probably have to throw blind energy because you're so low health. We're going to see which move Rise decides to throw, because depending on it, the Pokemon in the back for Doom could resist it.
Yes, I like this play a lot by Rise actually,
Ooh.
and expecting the
Ooh, the
Obstacle.
counter
Here comes the
comes
super effective cross drop. Doombug realizing that his Obstacle doesn't have a lot of play, will just let the cross drop go through, and here comes the Nidoqueen. Oh no, so the Obstacle gets fainted out, and Nidoqueen is being spammed right here, and let's see how Rise plays this
I
out.
don't know if Rise can make the call again, but no, does not
See,
make the
I
call.
think this
Completely
is a mistake
adjust with the
by
swap into the Sableye here.
Doombug.
The problem is the Earth Power is gonna start
He
draining
shields
the Sableye,
this
but
foul
as
play,
soon as you did,
but the
you
Ice Beam would
have
KO
to
for sure.
get to one more foul play before you get knocked out from Nidoqueen.
Yeah, and this is where Azumarill will excel over the low Ninetales. Azumarill does have that super effective bubble and the super effective Ice Beam here for that coverage move.
And this Earth Power might be enough. This might knock out the Sableye here. Can it hold on? It cannot. It knocks it out. And this Azumarill needs to get to the Ice Beam, but it's far away. And the Poison Fang is coming through. And the problem is he has to get to an Ice Beam before
This
the
is
second
fine
Poison
for
Fang
Rise
on
is
Nidoqueen.
the
Yeah, this is going to be cutting real close as you see super effective Poison Fang is coming through, and these Poison Jabs are adding up. Here
Look
comes
at
the
it
Ice Beam, and the Ice Beam does come off, but we still have the Obscure here, and Obscure, not a great matchup for Azumarill, but Azumarill is debuffed, and it is out of energy.
It's gonna come down to the wire here.
So
This Azumarill
here,
needs to get to an Ice Beam before this
the only
Ice Beam
way
gets to
Rise
Doom
lose
Boost. You
is
survive the
if
fight, you are debuffed, but you
if
probably
Doombug
can't survive this
gets a
because
boost
it is
here.
resistant. All you need to do is get the one Ice Beam and you're champion.
Even the boost though, boost would have been really close there, and Rise almost forgot to hit the bubbles there, and picks up a really nice win versus Doombug, making a huge comeback. 6-game set. This is honestly one of the best sets I've ever seen. Really nicely played by both sides. I look forward to seeing both of them in London. Obviously, I saw Rise at NAIC, but great guy. I was really rooting for him to take home. Rise is such a good guy, such a good battler, and obviously winning at home in front of his home crowd was obviously quite the story. But really fantastic play by the both of them. But congratulations to Rise for winning the Milwaukee Regionals. Let me know if you want me to cover its Axon's run and Marto's run in Marto's in Mexico City, and then its Axon in at NAIC. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it there. If you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.